Hello and welcome to my channel, Naughty Gnome Crafts. My name is Sarah and you can find me as Naughty Gnome on Instagram. Whether you are a new or returning viewer, thanks so much for joining me. It's Vlogtober, everyone, so I will be trying to post a video every day in the month of October. So if you are not already subscribed to my channel, now is a great time to hit that subscribe button and make sure that you hit the notification bell so that you'll know when I upload new videos. Today's video is going to be a flip through of Fibre Mood 16. So I am a subscriber to Fibre Mood. I have I forget what it's called, but it's the combo subscription where I receive the paper magazine in the mail, and I also have the opportunity to download 5 digital PDFs from their website every time they publish a new issue, and that happens 5 times a year. So this is the 3rd issue that I have received as part of my subscription, and I thought that we could go ahead and flip through the magazine today and get my second impressions, because my first impression was when the digital patterns were released. I went and looked at them then, and I downloaded a few of them, and I will put a link in the cards up to that video where I talked about my digital subscription. But today we're just going to be flipping through the paper magazine and kind of getting my revised take now that I've had a chance to see the garments a little bit closer up. So I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera around and we'll flip through the magazine together. Okay, please bear with me because this is my first time trying to do this camera angle, and so fingers crossed that I'm going to stay in frame. So this is issue 16 of Fibre Mood. If you're not familiar with the magazine, in the first section there's a lookbook, and then in the back there are the patterns. So the patterns come in this little packet here, and they are nested, but they're not as nested as a Berta magazine. And then you would trace off your pattern, and then there's instructions, I believe, back here that tell you which pattern sheet that you need to trace. And then this section has the instructions, and in the magazine, I think probably because they print it in so many different languages, there's no written instructions. They basically give you the pieces, and then all of the actual instructions in the magazine are pictures. However, don't fear if this puts you off. You can go to their website, and as long as you have an account, you can download all of the written instructions in whatever language that you need for free. So I have found that I always use the written instructions from online, and I found them to be pretty clear. I've only had problems with maybe a few of the ones that I've tried. Also, just full disclosure, I've gotten 3 issues of the paper magazine now, and I've never actually used any of these. I have them in case I ever decide that I want them, but I've only ever downloaded the PDFs from the website and taped them together. So yeah, that's my experience with the magazine. So we're just going to go ahead and go through the lookbook, and I'll just give you my impressions. So when you open it up, they give you a little overview of all of the patterns. The first pattern is the Tilda dress, and it's this lovely button front dress. It's a shift style, there's no waist seam, and it has a pointed collar. So this, I think they don't show it super clearly in the magazine, but this version right here is actually a hack. It's made into a top rather than the dress, and that's actually my favorite version. I did go ahead and download this as a PDF, and I probably won't make it until the spring, but I think that this would make a beautiful top in, say, a linen or a linen blend. I do like the dress, but I think that I'm not super likely to make it as a dress because I tend to not prefer these unshaped straight dresses without a waist seam. But I do think it's a lovely design, and I like that sharp collar. So the next pattern is the Flora Dress. This one, I don't really like the way that they show it in the magazine. I think the fabrics that they show it in are these stiff fabrics, hopefully there's another picture. This one is definitely some sort of leather or faux leather. You can see the design details here. I like the shaping of it and it intrigues me, but I just don't like the way that it's made up in those fabrics. However, I will say that I've seen some versions on Instagram. Yeah, I think this is some sort of canvas, or it's some sort of stiff fabric. And I don't know, I just don't like the way that the design looks in these fabrications. But like I said, I've seen some versions on Instagram that I liked better. So I wouldn't say that I'll never make this dress, but I don't know. It's not really catching my eye. Next up is the Joe sweater. This is an extremely basic sweatshirt, and if I didn't already have a million sweatshirt patterns, I would be tempted to make this one just because it's so simple. The only difference I can see with this is that it has 3/4 length sleeves, and they are a little bit maybe more like balloony or fuller than like a typical sweatshirt, but otherwise it's just your bog standard drop shoulder sweatshirt. Nothing wrong with that, but it's just nothing that I haven't seen before. Next up is what they are calling the Irma body warmer. I would call this a vest. So this version I think is okay. It has binding here on the armholes. The other version that has these cuffs, I do not like this version. I don't know, it's just, they look like little wings to me, and I just don't like that. I would never make the version with the cuffs. But going back to the other version that's just bound, so I think, again, there's something about the styling with this that I don't really like the way that it is in the magazine. I honestly think that it might be these vertical straight quilting lines. I just feel, for me personally, that maybe it looks a little bit amateur hour. However, I had basically, when I saw the preview of the issue come out online, I had written this one off and I was just like, no, not interested. But the more that I think about it, I am interested in making a quilted coat at some point. And I think that maybe a vest might be a good sort of starter project for that. And the main reason that I want to make a quilted coat is because I am a quilter, but I haven't been doing it for a few years. I have so many hobbies and there's only so much time to do them. So there's certain hobbies that I'm just not doing right now, and quilting is one of them. But I'm afraid to even guess, but I have probably somewhere between 20 and 30 unfinished quilts in my house. And I was thinking that perhaps I could make a quilted coat to get at least one of those quilts in progress out of my stash and out of my project bins. And so I was thinking that I could start with a vest and see if I like the style, and then maybe go for the coat if I decide that I like it. So I am considering possibly making this vest. Mine would look very different from this because, as I was saying, I would use an in-progress quilt. So it'd be much more colorful, and I'd probably do the quilting differently. And I would definitely 1000% not put these little wing things on there. But yeah, I don't know. It's a possibility. Who knows when I'll have time to do all these things. But this was definitely one that at first glance I was like, no, but on a second appearance, when I'm looking through the issue, I'm like, well, maybe I might do that one. Next up is the Giselle. So this is another quilted coat. Even though I want to make a quilted coat, I don't like the style of this one. I don't know what it is. It's just something about the shape I'm not a fan of. And again, I think that these simple vertical quilting lines for me just aren't really helping with the styling and stuff. I don't know. I just don't really like it. So this one's a no for me. Next up, we have a children's pattern. This is the Mickey. It's basically the same as the Irma, just the child's version. And these also have elasticated cuffs. I do make clothes for my niece sometimes, but she's kind of in a weird place where, even though she's 10, she's extremely tall, so she's kind of sizing out of children's clothes. She's in this weird, like, in between women's and children's sizing. So I don't know that I would make any kids' clothes for her at this point. And I don't know where she lives in Oklahoma. She probably doesn't need a vest like this anyway. But I think it has potential, especially, like, I don't know, to me, maybe because they show it on boys, it looks a little bit more boyish to me. But it's cute. I don't have a lot to say about that one. So this is the Alita skirt. I'm like I have mixed feelings about Fibre Mood styling. I like that they do the artsy photographs, but sometimes it's really hard to see the clothes. And so this print is cute, but like I can't see any of the details on this. And it's the only sample that they made. And so yeah, I can see the line drawing. But like looking at this, is this supposed to be asymmetrical? Because it seems like it might be slightly asymmetrical. And I kind of don't like that. I want something that's either obviously asymmetrical or not. I don't like the whole like in between thing, because to me that just looks like a mistake. So I don't know about the skirt. It might be pretty. I don't know. I'll have to look it up on Instagram and see if other people have made it in different fabrics. But just the way that it is, that was a pass for me. And then you've got, it's really nice. They do show pictures of community makes, so that's a nice touch that they add to the magazine. Then next up we have Irma. This was one of my absolute favorites from the issue. I think that it's gorgeous. I love it in this solid color. I think that I might make this in some double gauze that's in my stash. But I am definitely going to make this at some point. I went ahead and downloaded the PDF because I think that the shaping is just beautiful. Next up is the Betty trousers. I'm actually working on those right now, so I won't spend a lot of time on that. But yeah, I really like the styling here. I like that they're in corduroy. I think they'd be really cool in denim as well. And then here's another sample. Next up, another children's pattern. This is the Odile. This actually looks really similar to the Ayla shirt, but just I guess in a children's shirt dress. This is really, really oversized. I'm not sure if, I don't know anything about kids' clothes because I don't have kids, but like, do kids wear stuff like this? It sort of looks like the kind of smock type thing that you would put on them if they were painting or something. I don't know if what kids are wearing these days, so I shouldn't say anything about it because I don't know anything. So yeah, that's Odile. Next up, we have the Clements. I think that this sweatshirt could look super cool on certain people, but I am not one of them. This little like sharp shoulder detail, I don't even know, does it have shoulder pads in it? I don't know, but it's very, very pronounced shoulders. That would look horrible on me, and so that's a very firm no for me, but I really do think it's a cool design. I think that it would look wonderful on a lot of people. I think that she looks great, but it would look awful on me. Next up, we have the Doris dress. This one feels like a holdover from summer. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the issue 15 of Fibre Mood, but there were like 4 or 5 dresses of these shift dresses with the big sleeves, and this just feels like another one. And so I have to say that when I saw this, it did feel like a holdover from the last issue, and I was just kind of like boring. But when I saw this top version, I do kind of like this, and if I just step back from myself and don't think of it as a repeat and think of it on its own merits, I do kind of like it. I really think that it would be pretty in a rayon print. So I don't know, I don't have any immediate plans to make this, but I do think that it would be a lovely top. Very unlikely to make the dress because of what I said before about unstructured shift dresses. They're just not my thing, but I do like it as a top. And then here's another version in corduroy. I don't like it in corduroy. I would not make it in that personally. And then I think that's it. So yeah, that's all of the designs in the issue. And we already went over the tracing and the instructions. So yeah, let me know what you think. Do you like this issue of Fibre Mood? Does it make you want to subscribe? Right now, I would say that I'm leaning towards when my subscription is up, I will renew, but I would probably just do the digital rather than getting the paper because I don't know how much I'm going to use the paper ones. But it's nice to thumb through when you get it in the mail. So there you have it. That was my impression of Fibre Mood 16. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments if you thought this issue was a good one or a dud. I kind of thought it was a little bit of a dud at first, but on second glance, I think that there were some good ones in there that I might be making for myself. So yeah, let me know what you thought. If you liked this video, I hope that you will hit the like button and please consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.